Are you someone who makes things happen, or are you someone who hopes and waits for things to happen? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live broadcast. My name is Bam, and if you're catching me live, please feel free to comment in the comment section. I'd love to interact with you guys tonight. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter, and I hope that you are having a great start to the week. Also, it's Monday here in Manila, um, and I'm just grateful to share this message tonight. And this is a little bit off what I've usually been sharing, which is about healing trauma and addictions and understanding where our patterns of behavior and paano to nakasakit sa atin. And many of us, it's unconscious. So, but I won't get into that in this topic, and I'll post this on YouTube as well. And if you're listening on YouTube, feel free to comment below. If you're listening on Laika, let me know as well. I'm so grateful for all of you. Ito importanteng message to tonight, because I know a lot of people are, how can I say, we're looking for like solutions to our problems, right? Relationship problems, money problems, career problems, spiritual problems. And there is a clear cut difference between people who find solutions and people who stay stuck in their problems. And naalala ko nun, I just share a little bit about what my experience was. I remember like years back, maybe like more than how many years ago has that been? Like 13 years back, or no, even more rather, maybe 15 years back, when I felt like I was a victim of the world. And I don't know kung meron na sa inyo naka-experience like you feel like life is happening to you, and you feel like overwhelmed. It's like every day, like life is like my adversary. Kalaban ko yung buhay, and sometimes it feels so unbearable because we think that life is out to get us, or God is out to get us. Meaning, it's as if our lives were designed for us to suffer or to para mahirapan tayo. How many of you listening, you might have a mindset like that, and a lot of people are in that adversarial experience where nahihirapan sila to get through life because they feel like everything is against them. And this is, well, I was gonna say it wasn't so connected with what I've been sharing, but it is. It's still connected to childhood trauma. Yung, di ba, we're talking about self-love. We're talking about being able to be honest and speak the truth with what is okay, what is not okay. I'll just grab a chair. I'm just more comfortable sitting on my chair. So, I hope you can still hear me. So, trauma. I think as little children, depende na lang anong experience mo. But they say like it's doesn't necessarily mean na may masamang nangyari sa'yo like as a little child. It could be as simple as hindi ka nasundo ng magulang mo, like we're gonna pick you up one day at school, or hindi sila nakapunta ng graduation mo or your birthday party. And then as children, we start creating meanings. And one of the meanings that we create is people don't love me. People don't care for me. Hindi ako importante. And we tend to carry this into our adulthood, our adult lives. And it's a pattern. It's a recurring pattern where we get into relationships na we're trying to prove that our idea about relationships and love in life is true or accurate. That's why you're going to notice many of us get into these patterns where we're constantly being hurt, or where we're constantly struggling. And I've heard this in, not heard, but I teach this and share this in my seminars, where how do I know that I have like this trauma that and it's unconscious, where hindi natin alam that it's there? Well, one is, and Dr. Mate talks about this. He says like anyone who is going through an addiction has gone through trauma, 100%. But ang maganda sa sinishare niya, and I'm saying maganda because there's a way out. For those of us who feel like we're suffering or we're stuck, there's a way out. And but not everyone who has gone through trauma will necessarily become addicts of something. And when we talk about addiction, a lot of us think that it's it's like drugs, it's alcohol, it's sex, it's all these things, but not necessarily. It could be anything that you are doing compulsively ibig sabihin, you are doing it in a way that you're not even aware you're doing it. You try to stop it, but hindi mo siya mapigilan. But it has medium to long term um, bad effects for you and your life. Ibig sabihin, nakasama siya sa'yo, but you can't seem to stop it, right? So, with that definition, tinatanong niya, like, all of us have gone through some form of addiction, like shopping addiction, food addiction, and all these other things, relationships, addiction. Hi, Neris and Mary Ann. Good evening sa inyo. I'm happy you guys are here. So, going back, well, my topic is now about making things happen. And I hope this reaches someone who needs to hear it tonight. Many of us will say, Coach, I want to have a healthy body, and I want to be healthy and live a long life. But many of us are not taking specific actions to be able to be able to live life healthier, um, because many of us would rather stay in what we call your comfort zone instead of stepping out and trying something different. Like, you look at your day today, or the past week, even though it was Holy Week, and tignan mo, like, what did I do differently, like in my daily routine? And you're gonna notice, like, many of us, myself included, we keep repeating patterns. Paulit-ulit lang siya. Hi, Suzette. I'm glad you're here. People from Like are joining. And yung pattern natin, hindi siya masyado nagbabago. Bakit to importante? Kasi pag hindi nagbabago yung ginagawa mo everyday in your life, and then nag-expect ka na may pagbabagong mangyayari, it doesn't happen. It's like we're praying, Lord, sana may magbago sa buhay ko. Lord, baguhin mo, baguhin mo. But every single day, we keep allowing people to hurt us, to mistreat us, to talk to us a certain way. We're still hanging out with the same people who we know are dragging us down. Not that they're bad people, but, it's the choices that we're making every day. So, if we're not changing a pattern sa ginagawa natin every single day, change doesn't happen. Now, I am encouraged to share this message tonight because I have a friend. She's going to be attending the program on the 16th. And she just reminded me, and this is an important message, because a lot of us will say, Coach, I want to go through the program, or I want something life-changing, and I want to do this. But I think there's different types of people. One of us is, kasama ko dito, like, we say we want something, we want change, we want something better, but we're not really committed to doing it. It's just nice to say. Pagdating na dun sa, well, it's important that you either go through coaching, you go through a seminar, you go through a workshop, you talk to your pastor, your husband, your priest. Many people will back away. So, sinasabi nila, like, gusto ko talaga ng pagbabago. Ayoko na tong paghihirap with money, my struggle here. Yeah, but we're still not doing anything that is different, right? So, I'm like I said, I'm sharing this because, like, this person that I got to speak with, like I said, she'll be attending. She messaged because she was asking for a specific type of coaching. Nag-post kasi ako about the free coaching, and she messaged, and, like, she was going through this thing. And I told her, I did give my 2 cents dun sa situation niya, and I'll share that one time. But I told her, I said, you're going to get a lot of value if you go through the program, because you're going to be interacting with people, and you're going to be hearing iba-ibang perspective on what you're going through. Like, some of you feel like you're stuck, right? Some of you feel like you're not motivated. Some of you feel like you don't know what your purpose is, for being alive, for being here. And sometimes it gets so complicated na hindi na natin alam, like, what are the next steps that we're going to take. So it's important to be able to not talk to people that we usually speak with, right? It's important to be able to be in a space where you allow insights from other people to speak to you, right? Para makakuha ka ng ibang perspective. Because if it's not a fresh perspective, I can almost guarantee, end of this year, 2021, pag tingin mo sa buhay mo, sabi mo, like, bakit pareho pa din? Why am I still, like, not feeling fulfilled, unhappy, going through this depression, this anxiety? Well, because you still did not take any new action. So I was sort of like celebrating this person's actions, kasi, like, she made a way. Sabi niya, Coach, I found a way. I fixed my schedule, and then, I did this. And sabi ko, like, this really reminded me of my own journey. When many times in the past, sinabi ko, like, I wanted change to happen, but when it was uncomfortable, I had to go through a seminar, I had to travel, I had to wake up early, I have to call someone. Sabi ko, wag na lang, nakakahiya, o wag na lang, nakakapagod, ay wag na lang kasi then I would give all the reasons why I couldn't go through the change, because I didn't have time, I didn't have money. And I remember one seminar that I attended, sabi niya, 'di ba, like last year wala ka ng pera, yeah. 5 years ago wala ka din pera, yeah. 10 years ago wala. Sabi niya, but that's still your reason. And hindi siya nagbabago. And that's a very ano to, yung parang that's a very scary fact to face for many of us. And I'm saying it as an encouragement because literally if we are not doing something that is different that allows us to go through change in life, we're going to keep getting the same results over and over again. Now, there's also a trap in this, I think, when we start looking at people and then we put them on pedestals kasi sabi na, kasi sila, they have this lifestyle or they have this kind, and then we minimize ourselves. We think like we're less than other people. And I'm trying to tell them, you're never less than anyone, right? You have intrinsic value. You just being alive, right? And if you're a Christian, then you believe this, like you're God's creation. God loves you. There's a great plan for you. But many of us, we don't treat ourselves that way. We allow ourselves to be abused. We allow ourselves to go through the ano to, yung pain of not creating change. Diba? Has anyone experienced that? Where you're crying yourself to sleep. And I'm looking at you and I'm thinking like, if I was God, example lang, I would not want to see my daughter, my son, my child go through suffering every single day. And this is also my story. When I remember, when I was starting in my own spiritual journey, I go, why is life so difficult? Why is it so difficult for me to change? And now looking back, and I think a lot of people are struggling with this, tama yung sinabi ni Neres, but many of us, it's just simply that we're so afraid of change. We're just so afraid of exploring some aspect of our life na hindi pa natin nakikita. Because and then a lot of us will say, coach, hindi naman kasi ako ganyan eh. Hindi ako sanay sa ganyan eh. And the moment that you speak these things, hindi naman ako sanay mag-attend ng seminar, hindi naman ako sanay magbasa ng libro. Yeah, but saan ka babalik? Anong babalikan mo? You go back to the life that is painful. You go back to the life where you don't have enough. You go back to the life where you are resentful and dala-dala mo yung bigat sa buhay. Like, what choice would you rather have? To go through the pain of transformation or the pain of regret? About the pain of not having enough. The pain of always seeing scarcity and fear and disease. Like, I've gone through all those things. And when people ask me, like, well, Coach, why do you do the work that you do? Well, because I've gone through, all the anxiety and the diseases manifesting and holding on to anger and resentment, and I don't ever want to go back to that kind of life again. Ayoko na siyang balikan. But I also discovered, and I'll share this on my personal account as well, I also discovered that you don't have to stay like in a space where mabigat, where magulo, where hindi ka masaya, where lagi kang takot. You don't, because I've gone through that, right? And this has nothing to do with your age, your race, or how much money you have. It doesn't. Once, and you can see all the success stories of people, kahit anong socio-economic background yan, they've created quote-unquote success in their lives. They were able to break through. And they're the people we look up to when we say, wow, napaka-inspiring nung buhay ng tao na yun. Because we're exactly the same. And others, di ba? I mean, this guy, Nick Vujicic, walang kamay, walang paa. And he's a multi-millionaire doing motivational speaking and talks. And what's our excuse? Well, our excuse is a lot of other things that has happened to us that we are not even aware of. Yung fear natin of just talking to people. I mean, we can't even, like itong person na to who messaged me, I was already celebrating. Sabi ko, see, you've gone through the first step. And a lot of people will go through the first step. Maybe I'll try to share a framework. Well, the first step is acknowledging I need help. That's the honest truth. And we all need help. Number 2 would be, now that I know that I need help, will I reach out and ask for help? That's step number 2. So now that she has gone, to reach out and message me, Coach, ito. And now, ito yung, I think this is what separates people who get breakthrough in life versus those who don't. There are people who will ask questions. Pero pag nasagot ka ng, well, the solution is, you've got to work on yourself, you've got to read more books, you've got to expose yourself. Ay, ganun ba? Ang hirap pala. Or, or you've got to go through coaching, or you've got to, ang hirap pala, kailangan pala ng ganyan, wag na lang. And this really breaks my heart. And because a lot of people, and kinukwento ko yung sarili kong buhay, this is also me. And I would say, oh, ganun ba? Kailangan ko mag-attend? Kailangan magising ng maaga? you know, kailangan matuto, magno-notes pa, wag na lang. Kailangan makipag-usap ako sa tao, wag na lang. And then we go back to how life has always been. Kulang sa pera, kulang sa health, kulang sa joy, kulang sa love, kulang sa, all of these things. It's lack, right? So to be able to spot people who are not just asking, and I know it's scary. Okay, that's why I'm sharing this encouragement. I know it's scary to ask, but this is something that has got to be broken, I think, in our culture, in our system. It doesn't matter which country you're listening in from. Pag na-break mo na yung fear of asking for support, it's powerful. So she went through step 2, awareness, asking for support. Number 3 was the obstacle. The obstacle was money, and the obstacle was time. Diba? That's always like when you're doing your business, that's always the objection. Oh, I don't have money, but I don't really have time for that. That's always the objection people are giving. But see, tinatanong din to, diba, when you're in sales, what if nawala na yung, what if this was free? Would you grab it? Oh, yes, for sure. But some people will also say yes, for sure. But once it comes time for, commitment na sa oras, people will back away again. Now, I'm not saying that, of course, legitimate that people have stuff to do. But I'm saying we've gotten so stuck in our patterns of life. Like, Coach, this is the only way I know how to live life. I can't break it. But we don't even ask. So this person went to third step, which is to negotiate. Right? She renegotiated with her fellow teachers, whoever it was, that wherever she's working, and she explained, that there's this program that's happening on these dates. Can I just get the morning? Can I swap with someone? And she messaged me and said, Coach, I was able to renegotiate. I'm gonna, I'm attending. I'm so happy. And I was literally like super duper happy and excited. It was not because she was gonna attend. That's one thing. But alam mo what really got me super duper excited was she reminded me of me when that moment that I said, like, ayoko na itong, not having money, not having, relationships that are nurturing and encouraging and inspiring in my life. Like, ayoko na din itong bigat and all this past pain. And when I started, so it was step 1, I went through step 2. What do I need to do? Step 3, I had to go and meet people, and it was scary because I had to meet people that I never knew, and I was already in my mid-30s, or well, going to my mid-30s, early 30s. And, then there was this thing like, oh, am I too old to start training and coaching? But I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to God that I did not buy my limitations. And if you're listening to this for the first time, something to reflect on. Maybe today, maybe throughout your life, there were limitations na binibigay mo sa sarili mo, why you never moved forward, because you were giving yourself excuses why you couldn't do it, right? And you feel that fear, mabigat, but it always stopped you, and it's always made you go back to who you were. And you've been living in that past life, and it's the past life that you keep cursing, that you keep saying, ayaw mo na niya, like you want something different. But whenever it comes to those times when you might be given an opportunity to change, to grow, to improve, like literally, you go back, you backslide. And this really breaks my heart for so many people because I think the fear has got the better of us. Ibig sabihin, nakita na naman natin bakit mahirap, bakit nakatakot, and we go back, right? Now, this is just like, I think these are just like initial steps to go talk to the coach. And I like what Neris is saying. Life coaching is so important to help you take. Yes, it absolutely is. And then you've got a track, right? So it's not just the one coaching program, not just one seminar, which a lot of people have this unrealistic expectation. Like, I went through a coaching program. Therefore, like, I've gone through all these coaching programs and all these seminars. And at the end of it, it won't matter unless you work on yourself every single day, literal araw-araw, and you're facing your fears every single day. Because, you can't, you're not going to be fit and healthy if you're not doing your push-ups, your planking, whatever exercise you guys are doing. But you're not going to be fit and healthy if you're not changing the way you're eating. You're not going to be fit and healthy if you're not getting quality sleep. There's still action you have to do every single day. And that's where I think the other batch of people, dun sila nawawala. Because they think like, oh, once I've gone through this program or this mentorship or this training, then I should be okay already. No, you have another freaking 10 years, literal, like 10 years of mastery, 10 years of working, 10 years of doing, whatever you guys are doing in your business. And if you're not committing long term, then you might as well quit now, because it's not going to change for you, because it's going to get so difficult, it's going to get so challenging. Sabi mo, ang hirap, babalik na lang ako. And then I tell people, but always remember, ano yung babalikan mo? If it's something that you already prayed to God for, sabi mo, God, take me out of the dark. I don't want to be there. You guys know the song. I don't want to be in this space anymore. Then stop making excuses. Then stop over analyzing and overthinking, right? And then start connecting to more people. And then start asking. And then start looking for freaking solutions. A lot of people, and I've shared this on Leica as well before, because there's a lot of excuses will stop us. But it's a message that has to be shared over and over again. Because literal yan, like you don't feel like it, hindi mo nagagawa ng paraan. Even though you know it's potentially life-changing. Looking back at my 10-year journey, and I'm just getting started. I don't won't even say I'm in grade 1, like going to high school and then university. Like I'm just starting. But sabi ko, but I'm grateful because lahat ng natutunan ko the past 10 years, hindi ko mako-compare like yung kapalit, like the connections, the blessings, right? The transformation can never ever ever go back to how it used to be, because my mindset has changed, my heart set has changed, my soul set has changed. And it doesn't matter now, we're facing a pandemic, right? If you did not get to prepare yourself, like your heart set, your mindset, your soul set, all of these things, then literal, like we're gonna be going through even more challenges. But if you have your mindset, if you have that, for a lot of you, it's the peace of Christ that transcends all understanding, but not to just to know it in your head, but to feel it in your heart and to live it in your life. It's just going to be a different experience every day. It's not going to be doom and gloom. It's not going to be shame and judgment or criticism. You're always going to find that you're always taking steps forward. And when you're not, when you're in the present moment, what's there? You feel joy. There's love. Maganda nga to. Like I was like listening to these doctors, and they're saying joy is not really an emotion. They're saying it's a state of being. What joy is going beyond happiness, because happiness is temporary. Like you get, whatever the bonus, you get your pay-ins, you get salary, you get promotion, but that's fleeting. Usually, that'll last a couple of months, and then you're on to like your next thing. Like it's all success is a moving target. Like you always want to go, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? So it's so important to be able to lay out, that life that you want to be living, the actions that you want to be taking every day. And and I'll wrap this up. If this day is ending and you still have not made a connection with someone to like have a conversation with them that's potentially life changing, I'll say you are already you're lagging behind. There's always an opportunity to reach out to people. Like, I'm literally messaging someone who is the daughter of the creator of all these things that we're sharing sa seminars, like from the US. But I'm there. I'm trying to engage. I'm trying to provide value. I'm trying to comment, because I see the value of human connection. And for those of you who are listening and you feel like, oh, I'm just like all alone, I'm stuck. Well, maybe, just maybe, you have not made that effort to connect to people and provide value. Maybe nanguna yung fear. Maybe nanguna yung judgment. Maybe nanguna yung sinabi mo na, oh, hindi ko alam kung anong gagawin ko dito. I'm just gonna be, in fear. And I know it's scary, not to have resources. I know it's scary to be diagnosed with these diseases, like your family members. But there's always one thing that'll get you going: faith, hope, love. And love never disappoints. Hope never disappoints. Well, I'm not talking about like worldly love where we're manipulating and give and take and promising things to people, not, but we just want to manipulate. I'm talking about something else. So I just want to leave this up here. I hope you guys got value. 24. I'll end here. Salamat, Neris, for tuning in. Mary Ann, I appreciate you. Everyone, Suzette, thank you for being here. Everyone on Leica, on YouTube, leave your comments. What's your biggest takeaway? Here, I'll ask this. Like, we'll do a workshop. Write down what your biggest fear is, but also on the right. So 2 columns. Kaliwa, what's your biggest fear? On the right side, what's your biggest dream? And my question is, what excuses and reasons have you come up bakit hindi mo nakuha yung gusto mo, like in your life? And this is simple. It's not like $10 million to buy an airplane. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about maybe peace of mind. Maybe, having just more than enough to be able to help and to provide and whatever it is for you. Maybe it's to serve church. Maybe I don't know what it is, but you know what that biggest dream is for you. It's a combination of all of those things. I want you to go through those reasons that you wrote down and literally tignan mo, how many times have you said those reasons today? How about yesterday? How about last week? How about last month? And you're gonna get shocked. Sabi mo like, wow, this is like my dialogue. I'm saying I want one thing, but hindi siya nagmamatch sa actions ko. I hope this helped you guys. God bless you and good night.